integratedraft.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
All right, it's time for Final Jeopardy. It's been a tight contest today that all comes down to this final question. No summer picnic or family get-together or trip to the lake is complete without this particular item. Let's go first to Bob.
What is beer?
No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a bow. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bure's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bure's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska. The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Play ball! Summertime is here, and so is another action-packed baseball season with the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Bring your whole crew to Haymarket Park to experience the magic under the lights and the thrill of the game. Enjoy daily specials like Wiener Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, and Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts. Don't miss out on the excitement.
Strike three, you're out.
Visit saltdogs.com to see this week's promotions and secure your tickets to unleash the fun.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Rico with you. What's up, Rico?
Yeah.
How's the Tuesday?
So far, so good. Again, another day where I haven't stepped outside since I got here.
Let's just have a revisionist history here.
It was so freaking hot yesterday.
It was very warm.
It was
very warm yesterday.
Ridiculous. And again, felt really bad because there's construction going on my way to pick up my kids from daycare. Saw all those dudes out there in their long sleeve, their jeans, and they're wearing like, the hats. And one of them had like a jacket on, the like bright ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, that sucks.
Well, it's even like our very own Jake Sorensen wears long pants. Yeah. I can't do it. Couldn't do it.
I need my legs to be out.
Yeah. So anyway, the golf shorts are the go-to this time of year.
Golf shorts? What's the difference between...
It's these golf shorts and then a polo. It is polo season.
What's the difference between golf shorts and regular shorts?
Golf shorts, they're a little heavier, so they look a little more professional, I suppose.
Okay.
I've been trying to dress a little bit more professional.
I've got non-cargo cargo pants.
You got the cargo shorts,
but they're not cargos because they don't have all the pockets.
Just the tan pants.
They're just the tan pants. And I went out and I was an adult and I got a whole bunch of shirts. I got like 5 shirts that don't have anything on them.
Bingo.
Just some regular old shirts.
I feel like
I feel like I look better.
Bingo. So here's the thing: is there's a lot of we all know this. People call me Big Swim. I'm a bigger dude. I got broad shoulders. I got a little bit of a belly. And so here's the thing, like, you need to feel good. And there's a lot of websites out there that offer shirts for people of our stature, Rico. And one of them I bought, I think it was like 10 shirts, but for like $119 for 10 just solid color t-shirts, different colors, 10 shirts. And now they just line my closet, and I love them. They're comfy, they're soft, they fit well.
Yeah.
And it's not like these giant baggy things. And I'm like, dang, I actually feel like somewhat of an adult, because here we are dressing in polos a couple of days a week, dressing in golf shorts. I mean, here's the thing, guys. We're obviously a little bit younger than maybe some of our audiences as well.
Yeah.
And so they're just, blowing this off, and people got to wear suits and ties to work. But fortunately, we're not in that capacity specifically.
Don't have to do that.
And so this is a step up for us. We're growing in front of everybody's eyes.
Look at that. I'm becoming grown. I'm becoming an adult, and I appreciate all of you for going on this journey with me.
Yes.
I went to a Red Walmart and got me like 5 shirts for like $5 each.
Nice.
It was a nice little sale they had going on.
Nice. Outlet malls are a big place for me.
Yes.
I love some outlet malls. Nonetheless,
you need to get out to the outlets.
You do. 402-464-5685 Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both of those open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. Huge thanks to our sponsors and our friends over at Empire Fence and Netting for their support of the program. As always, you can actually stop by Empire Fence and Netting on your way to the outlet malls. If you take Highway 6, it'll just take you right through it, right by Empire Fence and Netting, right through Waverly, and straight to the outlet malls if you would like. But we got a lot of stuff to get to. Obviously, yesterday was such a good sports evening with Game 3 of the College World Series, Game 7 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals that we got to talk about in the second segment. Now that baseball's concluded and hockey's concluded and NBA's done, it's time we probably turn our attention
to the Olympics.
To the Olympics, but also Nebraska football. And so in at some point in today's show, we're going to talk about Nebraska football turnover numbers that other teams in the Big Ten Conference had. One specifically stood out to me as I was kind of navigating this Phil Steele's magazine.
It is Phil Steele season.
It is Phil Steele season, if you will. But
does Phil do all this by himself?
I would imagine so. I was thinking about that.
A lot of work.
Just think about like the Adobe pages that he has on his computer.
Ridiculous.
And also, I'm sure he starts working on this relatively early.
He's got a massive team of people. It's not just
probably a massive team of people. But what if something got deleted and he just had to send out a response of like, "Sorry guys, this magazine's not cheap."
No, it's not, and it's thick. So
$21.
So thick boy.
$21 for a magazine. It's the only magazine I ever buy.
I like the fact that it's like customized for like different regions.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I agree. So nonetheless, we'll talk Nebraska turnover margin numbers because, as folks know, Huskers not very good last year, -17 in the turnover margin. But for the short segment that we do until we take a break, let's go ahead and break into the College World Series result last night. Texas A&M comes up 1 run short against the Tennessee Volunteers, 6-5 in the winner-take-all Game 3 deciding match between the Aggies and the Vols. Tony Vitello, the former Arkansas assistant under Dave Van Horn, gets his first national title for Tennessee Volunteer baseball as well. The Stars were out. We saw Rick Barnes was in Omaha. Peyton Manning was in Omaha. Josh Heupel was as well. Morgan Wallen, who's everybody's favorite. The Stars were out.
Country singers there, Morgan, and there was somebody else. I don't remember who it was, but Tennessee had a massive, popular, star-studded cheering section going for them in that disgusting orange that they had. But Tony Vitello, we were talking about it yesterday, how you would think that, I think you were saying that his kind of energy and demeanor would fit at Texas. We're not going into that whole thing, but I guess I haven't been following Tennessee as closely because I knew that he was fiery and all that. But then at the end, he gets the water dumped on him. He's picking the ice up off the grass, tossing it in his mouth and like chewing it. And he's just like jumping up, hugging his players, shoving his players. He's getting that dude looks like a really fun coach to be around. Although it could just be, all of the energy going in after that game. and winning your first national title. But at the same time, he just seems like a really energetic and fun-filled guy. Although some people might take it the wrong way, and maybe he has a lot of energy kind of put into a negative way, tossing the dirt and what have you. But I liked it.
So here's what's interesting is, and this, a lot of people don't necessarily know this about Tony Vitello specifically, was back in 2016, he had a relatively quick jump through his coaching career, and it all started in 2003. So Tony Vitello played from 2000 to 02, and he played at Missouri. Missouri is his alma mater.
Oh,
and in 2003, a year after he graduated from Missouri, he was there as an assistant. From 2003 to 2010, Tony Vitello was an assistant coach with Missouri.
Like a grad assistant or just assistant?
An actual assistant. And this is once again, a lot of people don't realize and know the quick rise, I suppose, in the coaching world that Tony Vitello made. From 2003 to 2010 was an assistant. 2011 to 2013, he was an assistant at TCU. He left his alma mater. Then from 2014 to 2017, he was at Arkansas. Something that goes under the radar with Tony Vitello,
that is a quick
was that he used to be a little bit more arrogant than he is currently.
Oh.
And in 2016, he interviewed for the Missouri head coaching job opening while he was an assistant in Arkansas. And I was reading an article from The Athletic, I believe, earlier today about how he was expected to get it. He thought he had it locked up. He was not worried about anything else. He had started talking about recruiting to Missouri, started to talk about what he was going to do with the program to his inner circle. Felt like he had it sealed. They ended up choosing Steve Beazer to be the new Missouri baseball coach in 2016. They ended up firing that coach back in 2023. But Tony Vitello didn't get the job. Got humbled big time. Goes back to Arkansas as an assistant coach, and in 2018 then gets the head coaching job for Tennessee.
Do you think Missouri's looking back and thinking maybe? Or do you think that him getting humbled by not getting the job at his alma mater after believing that he had it locked down was what humbled him, as you said, enough to kind of become the coach that he is today?
So how about this? He said this back in 2016. The headline is Vitello happy as a hog, and this comes from the Arkansas Gazette down in Fayetteville. It says Arkansas assistant baseball coach Tony Vitello interviewed for the head coaching job at his alma mater, Missouri. He was never offered the job, he said. Vitello said he interviewed for the position last month in a hotel in Kansas City, Missouri. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported that he was one of the favorites for the job before Missouri hired Southeast Missouri State head coach Steve Beazer on Thursday. He said, quote, "Once I walked out of that meeting, I knew they weren't going to pick me and that I wasn't a candidate. I'd love to look like the most loyal Razorback of all time and say I turned them down, but I never was offered the job. And at no point was I ever all in saying yes if it was offered." That's what he claims. So there you go. It says the Post-Dispatch reported Vitello had the backing of several influential alumni at Missouri, including Major League All-Stars Max Scherzer and Ian Kinsler.
Max Scherzer's a Missouri alumni?
Wow. I did not know Max Scherzer went to Missouri.
The more you know.
There it is. Vitello claims that he has aspirations to be a head coach one day, but isn't in a hurry. He then left the following season. So
he wasn't in a hurry. It just happened.
He wasn't in a hurry. So there's that about Tony Vitello. Quick ascension, got turned down by his alma mater, didn't even get offered the job by his alma mater, goes to Tennessee, and 6 years later wins a national title. The first one in Tennessee history. So
gets one in before Dave Van Horn.
Does get one before DVH.
You were mentioning that before when Tennessee first made the College World Series field. You were mentioning how that's an interesting storyline. If he were to get it before Dave Van Horn, knowing that he had been an assistant there, Dave has had all this success, but it just hasn't panned out in terms of a championship yet.
Well, and we continue to see. I mean, Arkansas just utilized the transfer portal again. They went and got out. I'm blanking on the Ohio State pitcher's name. Biedenspiel, the Ohio State pitcher that pitched against Nebraska, in fact. And they plucked him from the Buckeyes through the portal and sent him down there. Long list of
Landon Beetleshees.
Yeah,
sure.
I told you it was a confusing name to say on the back end. But
Beidelschhies.
Yeah,
that one.
Very tough. But Ohio State pitcher starting guy moves on, goes to Arkansas. Nebraska's former pitcher Cody Frank transferred down to Arkansas as well after a season with the Huskers. So Dave Van Horn certainly utilizes the portal for some pretty valuable arms throughout the last couple of years. Just can't get over that hump. And they've had some really good players, obviously Hagen Smith, Robert Moore. The list goes on and on. Even Andrew Benintendi, who is the Golden Spikes Award winner in his time, was not able to secure a national championship. So, but once again, Tennessee gets it done. Now we see what happens with Schlossnagle, what we see happens with Tony Vitello. If he gets an extension onto it, there's already been rumors and discussions of Tony Vitello getting an extension onto his current contract. And he made a little bit of a bonus with the win last night over the Aggies.
How much is Peyton Manning pouring into to keep Tony around?
According to Peyton Manning, they're coming in all sports.
All of them. Shout out to Tennessee.
So we'll see what Josh Heupel can do with football this fall.
Tennessee has been the Nebraska savior this year. If you paid attention after the game, Tennessee shut out Iowa in the bowl game.
That's right.
Tennessee beat Texas A&M in basketball in the NCAA tournament, I believe is what it was. And then Tennessee beats Texas A&M in baseball.
So Tennessee football, they were 9-4 last year. They returned 6 starters on offense, 5 on defense. Let's see. Their schedule shapes up like this. Open it up against Chattanooga. They face NC State and Charlotte on a neutral site.
Win.
Then they play Kent State, the Golden Flashes.
Loss. Just kidding. Win.
Then they go to Norman, Oklahoma in their first conference game of the season.
Win.
Tennessee at Oklahoma.
Win.
By the way, the Sooners just inked Brent Venables to an extension too.
They did. A weird extension.
At Oklahoma, then they have a bye. Then it's at Arkansas.
Win.
You have them starting 5-0.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think they lose to Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to be okay this year. Josh Heupel, don't forget, former offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, former quarterback at Oklahoma. Josh Heupel was. He left to be the head coach at Tennessee.
He knows everything.
Obviously. Florida at home, Alabama at home,
Win-loss.
Kentucky at home,
Loss.
Mississippi State at home,
Win.
They go on the road to Athens.
Loss. Heavy loss.
How about this one? A big November 23rd game against UTEP.
Loss.
And at Vanderbilt.
All right. They're going to win, or they're going to lose 3 games.
Double-digit wins, 10-3.
Yep.
There you go.
Alabama, Georgia, and someone else. Not sure who. Possibly Oklahoma.
They got that really good quarterback now.
Who? Tennessee?
Nico. I am Aliva. I'm a
leaving.
Yeah. So there you have
but
it.
He's not a leaving.
All right, let's talk Nebraska football. We got turnover numbers to talk about it. And Nebraska, -17 in turnover margin this year. What other Big Ten team was at the top of the country in terms of turnover numbers and had a pretty good year? We'll tell you about them coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine
Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds. It'll be hot and humid with a high around 100. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms early and mainly clear with a low around 68. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with an afternoon high around 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Is it time to replace your AC? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados, plus Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville, $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Old School with DP and J.
And Todd Bowles, I'm going to tell you this, DP, his voice does not match his body type.
That's what I'm saying. He's never, I don't know how you can be led by Todd Bowles' voice.
That's a fireable offense anyway.
Like his facial expression is top notch. Then his voice, because it's literally, you're there expecting, it's like Mike Tyson.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. On the Block with Strick and Austin.
There's that pit in my stomach. I hope that knot gets untangled and untied so that the Royals can be in contention for the playoffs come late August into September. I'm not holding my breath for it, but before I freak out and lose my mind about how bad things are right now, I'm going to choose to look back at last year and remember how bad 56 and 106 felt.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. 402-464-5685. The Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you guys. Eric is chiming in as always. Appreciate Eric for hanging out with us every single day.
We love you, Eric.
He loves us.
Yes.
Or else he wouldn't be here.
You ain't wrong.
Here we are. 464-5685. Shout out to Eric.
Shout out to Thunder Not Collins as well.
Absolutely.
I'm doing great, Thunder Not Collins. I'm
Good.
doing fantastic. And then, what he says about you.
My text line is not updating, so I don't know.
He didn't want to text and drive, so it took him a while. Usually he's one of the first texters, and we appreciate that. He said, did Nick really string 2 days of work in a row? I guess the saying about sunshine and dogs' butts is true.
Sorry that family reunion. Wasn't going to miss it. I can't miss it.
Yeah.
So, nonetheless, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this specific ranking or conversation angle, but NCAA 25, the football game, came out with their top 25 toughest places to play.
Yes.
Today. And Kyle Field, home of the Texas A&M Aggies, was listed as number 1 as college football's toughest place to play.
As it should be.
Alabama's 2nd, LSU's 3rd. The first Big Ten school, Ohio State, comes in at 4th. Beaver Stadium is 6th, the home of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Camp Randall is 7. Other Big Ten teams, Oregon comes in at 11. Let's see, Michigan, the Big House, is 16th. Iowa is 20th. Michigan State is 22nd.
The woodshed.
That's right. Don't forget Mel Tucker said that. But those are your Big Ten schools that are on college football 25's toughest places to play. Now,
I did a thing.
I know. So I'm going to let you go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take this. I will say this. Autzen Stadium, the home of the Oregon Ducks, gets a bad rap at times.
Severely underrated.
They get a bad rap because Oregon, do you have this record?
I don't. I only went 10, unfortunately.
Oregon is 28-1 in Autzen Stadium over the last 5 years.
Nice.
The same exact record as Georgia.
Yes.
Same exact record as Georgia.
So I only went back to 2020.
Okay.
And I went with the top 10 teams. So I went back to 2020 to find out the home record, obviously, for these teams. Texas A&M, Caulfield, 20-5.
Okay.
Since 2020. Alabama, 25-1. LSU, 20-5. Ohio State, 22-2. Georgia, undefeated at home since 2020, 22-0.
Dang.
Penn State 19-7, and for me, Penn State at night or during a whiteout, much tougher place to play, which is kind of the same for me with LSU, but they're 20-5.
Which that makes it difficult because we went through and listed like our toughest places to play in the Big Ten. In just a moment, we'll kind of share our list briefly. It's tough because there are certain themes or certain nights that make a place maybe a little more energetic and tougher to play in.
A night game at Kinnick is much different than a day game at
absolutely.
Kinnick. Everybody knows there's some kind of weird magic there. Penn State 19-7. Wisconsin, the worst record out of all of the teams in the top 10, 15-9 at home since 2020.
Okay.
Oklahoma 21-3. Florida State 17-8. Florida 18-6.
Florida has the toughest schedule in college football this year.
Is not going to be great this year. So yeah, that's your top 10. Which I mean, your top 5 combined for 10 to 13 losses at home on the respective home fields. Your top 5: Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, and Georgia. It's ridiculous.
So Angry Rams fan says Iowa should not be top 25. That bothers me. I think we forget how Iowa just wins.
Iowa at home is tougher than people want to give them credit for, just because Iowa's
it's not
offense
sexy.
is so bad. Yeah, it's not sexy, but again, a night game at Kinnick, there's some kind of weird magic. They've beaten Penn State, they've beaten Ohio State. If it's a night game and you're a top 5 team and you're going to Iowa, it's a problem. You might lose that game. Then more likely than not, you're going to lose that game. It's weird. I don't get it, but it's a thing that happens. They have a pretty good atmosphere around Kinnick Stadium.
As somebody that's been to Iowa in a night game, and it was a couple years ago when it was obviously on Black Friday, Mickey Joseph's last game coaching, cool environment.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. It was a cool environment. The Wave was really, really fun. It was cool to be a part of the Wave. I'll say that too. Iowa finished 10-4 last year. I don't know if we need to remind folks of that. They finished 10-4 last year. Their quarterback, which was Deacon Hill, completed just 48% of his passes and had how many passing touchdowns, Rico? Deacon Hill had how many passing touchdowns last season?
5.
That is correct.
Oh, hey!
5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for Iowa's starting quarterback last year.
Didn't he have like a 19.7 QBR?
Yep. Finished the year with an 87.4 QBR. Cade McNamara, who did not play, very many games last year because of injury. Cade McNamara finished with 4 passing touchdowns. Cade McNamara.
He played like 2 games.
Hold on. I need a calculator for this one.
That is ridiculous.
So Deacon Hill had 161 more passing attempts than Cade McNamara did last year. And had just 1 more touchdown pass.
Yeah, that checks out.
Deacon Hill attempted 251 passes, completed 122 of them. And we could even do this so Deacon Hill had 122 completed passes. Cade McNamara had 46. That is 76 more pass completions that Deacon Hill had, just 1 more passing touchdown.
Yeah, that math is math.
1 out of 76.
By the way, Iowa 6-1 at home last year.
Yeah, there you have it.
Their 1 loss coming to Minnesota. Yeah, 12-10 loss against Minnesota.
Yep, Iowa just doesn't go away. They also have been to a bowl game every single year.
Yeah.
2019 Holiday Bowl, they won. They won. 2020 Music City Bowl, it was canceled. 2021 Citrus Bowl, 2022 Music City Bowl, and 2023 Citrus Bowl again. They just do it.
Well, they got shut out by Tennessee 35-0.
Here's the best part of it. And this kind of plays into our topic that we're going to discuss. Total turnover numbers. Starting back in 2017, they were +7 in the turnover margin. 2018, they were +9 in the turnover margin. 2019 +9, 2020 +9, 2021 +12, 2022 +6. There you have it. Now, we know this.
Iowa, pretty good forcing turnovers, and they limit their own turnovers because all they do is run the ball and they don't fumble much.
Go back to this. We know Nebraska -17 in the turnover game last year.
That's every time you say it, it gets more ridiculous.
Nebraska -17 in the turnover game last year. Temple was -20. Rice was -14.
Shout out to Luke McCaffrey.
The positive turnover margin teams, how about this? The top 3 are members of your conference. Michigan finished the season last year +19 in turnover margin. Penn State finished +16, and Northwestern finished +13. That Northwestern one is the one I want to talk about.
That is a surprising positive turnover ratio for a team with not a great record.
Northwestern, though, don't forget,
they had a good season
under the interim coach.
First year. But it wasn't like to be +13. +13, and to not get 10 wins seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, Northwestern finished 8-5 last year. 8-5.
You're +13. You should have more wins than that.
Yeah.
I know 8's a lot, but +13
8 is a lot.
+13?
Northwestern also expected to take a little bit of a step back this year.
They were not supposed to be 8-5. They were supposed to be 5-8 last year.
They were supposed to be 0-12.
They were supposed to be very bad
last year. Northwestern was,
with Pat Fitzgerald getting fired during the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was springtime. It's probably springtime.
It was closer to the beginning of the season than maybe I'm imagining that it was closer to the beginning of the season than it actually was.
Because so Pat Fitzgerald was fired. You're right, July 11th, 2023.
14 days ago last year.
July 11th.
Oh,
so still
whatever.
Some time.
You know what I mean? That's even closer to the season.
It was even closer to the season. Because then you also had David Braun, who was just hired in January. That's where I kind of got, mixed up.
Crazy.
But yeah, so you have the turnover margins there. Nebraska, and this is where hopefully a little bit of penetration could help Nebraska, because the Big Ten is a little bit better of a quarterback conference too, to where they have better quarterbacks this year. They sure do.
If you want to hear more on that, you listened to the On the Block yesterday. Also went through it. The transfer quarterbacks coming in.
Dylan Gabriel is here. Will Howard is here. Miller Moss from USC is there. Tyler Van Dyke is a part of it. Obviously, Dylan Raiola is probably a little bit of an upgrade.
Is Tyler Van Dyke good?
It's added better than probably Tanner Mordecai. So yeah, I would say an upgrade there.
Yeah.
Drew Aller has another year of experience under his belt. The quarterbacks are better, and Nebraska's defensive line will need to get some pressure on him. Nebraska, according once again to Phil Steele, one of his best defensive line rankings is Nebraska comes in at fifth in the country, or excuse me, fifth in the Big Ten in defensive line rankings. Obviously, they have guys like Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmaker that are there. You have some edge guys that are intriguing on this roster as well. But you hope that they can potentially, Princewill Uman-Mielen is one of them, I'm sure, Jamari Butler as well. But I'm sure you're hoping that guys like that can create a little bit of havoc. MJ Sherman, can he step up? Can he take an improvement, a step forward? Javen Wright coming from the interior linebacker position. You also have guys like Stephon Thompson, who's going to be filling in that linebacker role. Nebraska did lose a defensive back in Isaac Gifford too. But that defensive back room, especially now Bly Hill getting banged up in the spring game, caused some uncertainty. Ethan Nation
leaving.
Ethan Nation moves on. So
Jaden Doss moved from offense to defense.
You're expecting Isaac Gifford to kind of fill in there as that rover, obviously, once again. Tom, I think I misspoke there. I said Isaac Gifford moved on. But you expect Isaac Gifford to kind of be in that rover spot. Tommy Hill, Malcolm Hartzog is entering his third year of truly playing.
But where do they use him?
Malcolm Hartzog, Marquise Buford, after his injury last year, kind of held him out for an extended period of time. And then Deshaun Singleton is back. So there's bodies, but Nebraska's going to have to, I think it all starts up front, especially with guys like Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmaker, and Princewill Uman-Mielen. Cam Lenhart is also in that conversation, certainly. So
James Williams, the guy that they're very high
that's right.
on,
the former walk-on. So there you have it. There's a couple of names.
That's the strength of your defense right there.
I'll be really interested because there was a lot of obviously and rightfully so positive talk surrounding Tony White, and I think it was warranted. But is it now? It's okay. Let's see substance, right? Let's see it continuous for 2 seasons now. Tony White,
do it again.
Do it again, and whether that's making improvement or kind of in a year where there's going to be better teams into the Big Ten Conference, I think we're going to have to plead Husker fans to kind of look a little deeper than just the standings, because Nebraska very well could finish 7th in the standings and still have an 8-win season, 8 or 9-win season. I think it's going to take a year, maybe 2 years to kind of really get accustomed and used to finishing 5th, 6th in the Big Ten is somewhat positive. After Nebraska, when you are so used to Nebraska, only needs 7 wins to win the Big Ten West, or they only need to beat these 2 teams to really win the Big Ten West, and they haven't done that certainly. But maybe look a little bit deeper than I suppose just the record.
Yeah, completely different now. Regardless of where you finish, it's just about regardless of how many wins you have, you just gotta work on getting into that top 4 really in the Big Ten with however many wins you're going to get. Because if you look at it, that top 2, top 3 are almost guaranteed locks for a college football playoff spot. And if that's what your goal is as Nebraska, which I believe it should be, that's going to be the spot that you want to be in. And that could be anywhere from, maybe 9 wins, depending on who you beat.
Yeah. There you have it. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we bring in Austin, get you guys ready for On the Block. Don't worry, Mississippi Mud Dog. I'm going to stop talking about Iowa. Was I doing too much with Iowa?
I don't think you were.
Was I doing too much?
I think we were fine. Iowa, look, this is going to be bad. Iowa deserved their flowers right there.
I also didn't feel like we were talking a whole lot of that positive of Iowa.
They have a good home atmosphere.
I was pointing out the fact that their quarterback completed less than 49% of his passes last year, had over 76 more completions than their backup that got hurt, and had just one more touchdown pass all season long than that guy.
I don't think that's talking good about them.
No, it's highlighting on how insane it is that they still won 10 games. And they've made a bowl game for so long.
Talking good about them, but it's talking good. It's a backhanded compliment.
Your
quarterback sucked.
Yep.
But you still won games.
And now they have Brendan Sullivan, the former Northwestern quarterback.
There you go.
Brendan Sullivan, man. We'll see what happens. Brendan Sullivan, that's another reason why Northwestern probably could take a step back, because they lost their quarterback.
Sullivan's going to win you games, I tell you what.
Especially in Iowa. No, Phil Parker wins you games. Also, it'll be interesting to see just Iowa this year without Brian Ferentz. Like, how much of a difference did that make? Is the identity still there? Do they try to change it up at all?
What
do they
does
try to
their
alter it?
look like?
Yeah, here
Are
we
they
go.
still ground and pound? Maybe air it out some more with
Maybe
a healthy Cade McNamara?
Maybe we see Wisconsin say, forget running the ball.
We're tossing it all over the yard.
Tyler Van Dyke.
We are Oregon.
He's here.
We're Red Oregon.
Yeah. By the way, that Oregon record, crazy. 28-1 at home their last 5 years.
Ridiculous.
Must be nice.
Shout out to Autzen.
Shout out to Autzen. Small capacity. Fans are knowledgeable. They're good. All right. We'll take a break. Bring in Austin coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street
Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I noticed in the article it's spelled D-A-W-G.
Yeah, that's
Now hold on.
That's standard.
Again,
Jake,
journalism.
a dog is a D-A-W-G in terms of an athlete. Yeah. Or some things are badass, Yeah.
Dogs, there's no way
D-A-W-G.
in 1985 that was the case. Now this is a recent phenomenon, right?
That's not that new. This is that's not this new. is not this is since 2000 probably.
D-A-W-G?
Yeah. Where have you been?
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. On the Block with Strick and Austin.
There's that pit in my stomach. I hope that knot gets untangled and untied so that the Royals can be in contention for the playoffs come late August into September. I'm not holding my breath for it, but before I freak out and lose my mind about how bad things are right now, I'm going to choose to look back at last year and remember how bad 56 and 106 felt.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
This is a house of learned doctors.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
As soon as your eyes shut, I'm going to punch you square in the face.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour one final time before we hand things off to Austin and On the Block. Good stuff there. I understand Jay's going to join you a little early too for some On the Block action today. Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys. You can always follow us on Twitter, Nick_Sainer at Radio Rico AC and at Austin_Orman. Also, make sure you follow the Ticket account at 93.7 The Ticket. No points in the Twitter account there.
No points for you.
I posted this last night on my Twitter as I was watching the College World Series because we had our group chat that we were discussing. Like, Karl Ravech doesn't necessarily do it for me when listening to college baseball. And I was thinking back about, I think it was after actually Karl made a mistake on the broadcast last night. And like, I'm not big on like pointing things out and I don't worry about that because mistakes happen. But I was like, man, I miss Mike Patrick calling college baseball. And that instantly takes me back to, and not to relate it to video games, but I'm going to.
But definitely related.
Takes me back to playing MVP 06 NCAA baseball. And so on my Twitter, I posted the intro to MVP 06 NCAA baseball. And it's like Mike Patrick and Kyle Peterson. And that's where, Austin, you made an interesting point last night of like, the college baseball world, they threw Mike Monaco was one of the broadcasters this year for the College World Series and has been for the last couple of years. Mike Patrick retired, I believe, in like 2018 is when his final season was. And Carl Ravitch, has become the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball guy, their main baseball guy. Carl Ravitch is fine, in my opinion. Doesn't necessarily do it for me for college baseball. It's fine in Major League Baseball. But you made a good point about how college baseball and ESPN is trying to give the College World Series a Major League Baseball feel, which is fine, but they also need to embrace the college aspect.
It's fine because there's a lot of MLB talent on the field and in these SEC games, so I can understand them wanting to put together a polished, complete product for a sport that doesn't exactly captivate the nation outside of these last 11 days, really, which is what the rest of the country is missing out on. But it doesn't need Carl Ravitch. Like, again, he's fine, but you don't need to button up the College World Series. The point of it is that's the greatest show on dirt.
Take the suits
The point
off.
of polo suits, I don't really care what they're dressed and how fancy they're dressed, but these are still college dudes.
Yeah.
Having fun. Lean into the collegiate aspect of it with so much of sports going more and more professional.
Yeah.
Don't do that with the College World Series. It is uniquely college and how it's run, how it operates. And college baseball provides enough drama on its own. Let that tell the story instead of trying to button it up.
I feel like that's kind of like what I was saying to you guys, where I'm not as big of a baseball guy as you guys are, but you guys talking about Carl Ravitch, and when I hear his voice, I immediately go to MLB. I immediately go to
Monday Night
professional baseball.
Sunday Night Baseball.
And it again, not the biggest baseball guy. Like I know enough to get by, and I follow it enough, but when I'm hearing Carl Ravitch's voice, it's professionals, it's MLB, it's not college, and I want there to be some sort of distinction. And you have announcers who who do NFL, you have guys who do NBA, you have guys who do college basketball, you guys who do college football, and the game just feels better when you hear those voices on those calls, and it's got a certain, I guess I keep using the word feeling to it, when there's somebody else doing it and it's not quite right.
I think it's important that, like, this is not a dig at Carl Ravitch. I think he's fine.
He's
like, I don't have any problem with him. To your point, Austin, like, embrace the amateur piece of it. Embrace that part. Like, there's a lot of mistakes that are made in the college baseball game. Embrace that piece. Don't worry so much about the professionalism of it, because there's a lot of like you said, going to be pro athletes on the rosters, right? And they throw up the mock draft, and there was like eight in the game, or in the championship series of guys that were projected to go relatively high in the first 2 rounds of next month's draft in the championship series. That piece is great, and that's a storyline in itself. Don't make the overall production about that, though. You can really lean into the amateur part of this is an 18-year-old kid who was in a high school math class last year, now mound for Tennessee.
The other part of it is that maybe Carl Ravitch is a college baseball guy and he follows, but I'm sure he's busy enough with this MLB prep. He doesn't. I view calling the College World Series as a reward for your college baseball guys too, who might be able to add in some little vignettes and anecdotes that maybe a guy like Carl Ravitch can prepare for, but it'll sound canned. Whereas these guys have been in the park, they've been paying attention all year. They can add that off the cuff, or they know what to look up. It might not come into play, but it also might.
Yeah, and like once again, and Carl Ravitch has been very, very vocal on Twitter about how much he loves Omaha and how much he loves the College World Series. So it's not like there's no passion. That's not the case. It's the distinct voice. You knew Mike Patrick and Kyle Peterson were college baseball. And I grew up not only watching it, but also on the video games. And that, like, as silly as that piece may sound, that plays a factor in the next generation. And so it'll be fun to see right? If they continue to lean into Carl Ravitch as the college baseball guy, and that's fine, but also like guys like Mike Monaco were at an SEC ball field or an ACC ball field every single weekend this year, this summer, spring for college baseball. Why not reward him for, like you said, the groundwork that was laid throughout the entire spring and early parts of summer? So once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today. One other thing that I want to mention is, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. So Jim Schlossnagle was asked a question yesterday, and okay, you know what? Before we do that, we got a question on the text line that I want to get to. Mississippi Mud Dog says, do you guys like Herb Street calling the Thursday night games for NFL? I don't think Thursday night games aren't a big enough product in my eyes to where it factors in enough. Like if Kirk got the call for Saturday night and then got the call for Sunday night on NBC, then I'd be like, okay, hold on now. It doesn't feel right. But Thursday night is a product that a lot of times doesn't feature the best teams. It's not the best game of the week. Sometimes folks will choose college football over the professional football piece of that. And it also doesn't feel like Herb Street's trying to take over the NFL. We're on the biggest stage for college baseball. Whose voices are you hearing? Kyle Peterson and Chris Burke were great. It's unfortunately like it doesn't feel, it's not that distinction like Rico talked about.
Thursday to me is just a warm up for Kirk Herbstreit for Saturday.
That's
what,
maybe.
To me, that's what he's doing.
It feels like a side project because you still associate Kirk with college football. And he'll always be a voice of college football, I think, to those of us who are growing up in this era. But also think about going from college to the NFL as a promotion, right? Going from Major League Baseball to college baseball was thought of as a, quote unquote, demotion. Even though I think it's like, I'm sure they're not thinking this, but I can see maybe some executives saying, well, these are younger guys. They're unproven, and we have to make sure that they're buttoned up there in lines. We're going to send Carl to babysit the broadcast, when really what you have is just fine.
I think, what's interesting, you mentioned the body of work. Baseball's different than football, and this is where I'll point out kind of a difference, Mud Dog, on the text line, is there's far fewer teams to cover and to pay attention to in the NFL, where we mentioned with other broadcasters, and Austin pointed it out about how there's certain anecdotes and details that people will be able to talk about where it's like, hey, you know what? These guys know something that just from being there or from being enthralled in the sport the entire summer that others just can't have. And that's fine.
Which is where like a guy like Mike Breen on play-by-play for the finals is great, fantastic, but also listen to the home radio call when the Celtics clinch a title.
Yeah.
Right. There's just something about following a team for 8,200 games or 162 games in Major League Baseball before you get there, 55 regular season games in college baseball. Just being along for the journey.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to knock the prep that these national play-by-play guys do. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's just it's good for the fans that just tune in for like that broadcast, right? They're not a fan of either of the teams playing. But if your team is in this championship series, 100 times out of 100, I will recommend you pull up your team's radio broadcast. You can get that extra little emotion and spice that you just can't get nationally.
Yeah, there you have it. All right, let's talk about this Jim Schlossnagle thing, because he was asked about the Texas opening last night. Here's what it sounded like, the question and the answer.
Coach, with respect to the difficult outcome tonight, but with the rumors circulating today about a specific job opening, what do you have to say about your future in Aggieland?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. That's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. But I understand you got to ask the question, but I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. So write that.
And then Jim Schlossnagle gets up, walks away. You hear the chair kind of crash, and he gets mad.
Wouldn't you be asking Braden Montgomery if he's going to go to the draft?
Well, it's somewhat uncertain. I mean, it's somewhat a certainty.
And then he would say,
that is,
I don't know.
You know what's funny, though, is with Braden Montgomery, it would be kind of certain because he's going to be a top 6 pick in the draft. So, I mean, you kind of know. Thoughts? Because you got to ask the question. You got to answer the question. The answer was peculiar. Do we need to read into it?
Yes. Well, no, but we're going to.
Should we read into it?
100%. We should read into it because I know exactly where you two are going to go. So I'm not going to step on your toes there. But it's 2 things. And I don't want to, bash it too much. But him saying he left his family to take the Texas A&M job, it's a 3-hour drive from Fort Worth to College Station.
Probably a 30-minute flight.
It's a 3-hour drive. And I haven't looked up the housing market yet. I should. I'm pretty sure College Station might be cheaper than Fort Worth.
Not entirely worried that the housing market's affecting his decision, though.
No.
Because his buyout also, if he leaves for another Texas school, is about $3 million.
Exactly. So I get it. I understand the whole, leaving your family in Fort Worth and you going to College Station. But there's also the part where he says, I left that job to be the coach at Texas A&M, thinking I would never get take another job again. It's like, okay, well,
he poured everything he had into Texas A&M, and he did everything he could at Texas A&M. That was he said. Past tense.
Okay,
Austin.
I'm gonna latch onto that comment.
Man of reason.
And say, I am fully on board the let's pick apart every word and intonation train because if Kendall Rogers isn't reporting this Texas news until the day of the final game of the season, it tells me that there's probably at least a little bit of smoke around it, if not a decision.
Yeah.
But the generous to A&M interpretation of that is he's talking about the job that he did with A&M this year. I poured everything into not just this job, but by this job, he means this season.
Into these 4 years, into these 3 years since 2021 when I first got here. Yeah, right? We had made the College World Series with A&M before, but we finally reached the mountain. And as soon as we were latching onto the top, we fell. That's what we could say, right?
Yeah.
And so, not to spend too much onto this, but I mean, Texas A&M, first of all, is an elite program right now. They are. Texas A&M baseball is an elite program. They were under Rob Childress. Now they are also under Jim Schlossnagle, and quickly has kind of reestablished the standard at A&M. Jim Schlossnagle has since he took the job in 2021. But yeah, once again, there's been so much made of this has been well known for about a week that Texas is going to part ways with David Pierce. It also is that situation of these highly functioning athletic departments that are worth tons of money.
So much.
They don't make these decisions or report it or let it leak or let it to the media without a true strategy and plan, in my eyes. And with that, is the next guy in line. Do they have their next guy? Do they know who they're going to just talk to? And if they do, well, then guess what? Then it makes it look like a seamless transition into and well organized. Because if they announced it on a Monday and they hire him by a Friday, hey, that looks seamless.
Usually a team with as much cachet and as much money, an organization, a school with as much money and cachet as Texas isn't going to make this decision without having somewhat of an idea of who they are going to have take this position.
Yeah.
They're not going into this blind
with
a list of 7 people thinking, well, if this is no, they have a list of 2 people.
It's like Bill Moose.
And they're like, this is who we're hiring.
Right.
It's one of these 2.
It's honestly like Bill Moose, where there's a list of 5 names. Now, here's the thing is with Chris Del Conte, instead of just having a list of names that, hey, yeah, we're going to reach out to these guys if an opening comes, here's 3 names that I know would probably take it if offered.
Now, who do we want?
There you go. All right. What's coming up on the block today, Austin?
Is there hope for the Big Ten in baseball and men's basketball? The SEC baseball run tells me yes, there is. Which categories, which archetypes do Nebraska men's basketball players fit into? Isaac Trotter of 24/7 Sports wrote an article on that. He's coming on the show tomorrow at 3, so we'll kind of break down that piece. Is the Stanley Cup the best trophy or holdable prize in sports?
Yes.
Not to me. I'm giving you my top 10 Polo
Wow.
prizes and trophies in sports.
Did you see it was in the Atlantic Ocean already?
It was.
There were
Yes.
babies in it.
They took the
They
took it
put
to the
newborn-
Atlantic.
They put newborn twins into it.
All right.
God bless Florida. And then Jay Foreman joins me to talk college football quarterback rooms.
There you have it. All that and more coming up on the block. Stick around. Austin and Jay will join you next. That'll do it for us here on the Happy Hour. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Adios.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Is it time to replace your AC? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save.